is on Ascent. A lot of teams in North America, I know like TSM is probably the one that's done it the most, running that Sageless meta on the map. And we've seen that at times as well from some of the Europeans, so I'm excited to see how things break down.
We are, of course, on Haven, and if you're just joining us, it is PartyParrots on defense and Need More DM on attack. Kicks off the first round, the first map of the best of 3, already looking towards that C site. And they'll start to make their way through. Paint Shell's going to try to create a little bit more space for the opposition. A couple of shots into the back of the site will find 2 frags here from Need More DM. And now PartyParrots, they're going to start to funnel in through the C alleyway. Slowly make their way towards the site. A couple of footsteps probably already heard by the attack. But a great post plant. They've got crossfire set up across the site. Recombo is going to try to spot things out early from the back of the site. It's going to be Photo with 1, with 2, and it's BZT to find that last and final frag. Of course, there was a quick trade from Dinks and around for Need More DM.
So Need More DM picking up the pistol, starting things off well. We'll see how PartyParrots goes for the response. Again, you heard all of that pre-game analysis talking about Angel playing the Brim, but trying to take on sometimes that entry role, which is a little bit peculiar and odd. There's so many agents that would better fit that, and Omen is the one that really stands out, given that Omen has become more popular currently with Paranoia getting that buff to make it click cast rather than auto cast. Yet again, we're going to see a pistol round stack. We saw this in the first series on the day as well, with most of the bodies grouping up towards the C site or towards the A site in the pistol round after, or the second round after losing the pistol. And again, it's not really going to work out so well. It didn't in that first series, and it's not going to work out so well here either for PartyParrots. They do push through all the way on A, and they are going to be working their way through the back end of the play. The Aldrone heading in towards Garage does not spat out the Cypher as he dodges that one for the time being. They're taking down the tripwires on the flank as well, so they know there's players coming in. Do they anticipate this many bodies? There's the Shock Dart coming out to do some softening up of the targets. Wall's going to go down to make it a lot easier for them, so they're not even really going to have to take this battle with them initially.
What early shots. Great shot from Fuda. Crazy here to follow up, but it's just too difficult for PartyParrots to push forward. I mentioned earlier that it's not really the most ideal round for them when it comes to economy in terms of the weaponry that they have available. So this will be the opportunity now for PartyParrots to really kick things off and have a full buy for themselves and really show us what they're capable of. We talked a little bit about how usually these rounds kick off. You win the pistol, you win the next. Well, now PartyParrots, they'll have an opportunity to fight back. And, I'm already starting to think about what that second half might look like. Haven being a little bit more of an attacker-sided map. Of course, this is PartyParrots' selection on Haven. So let's see if this early boost with the operators, not boost, but rather, I'm not even sure what to call that, but an early push maybe with the blast back. I don't know. Dinks doesn't even peek it though, but he'll see the tell.
Yeah, Satchel Peek. I like the move. There's the Paranoia coming out. We talked about how strong it can be, and you can see the effect it has on Dinks J. Even though the Cyber Cage was down to the tripwire spot him, there wasn't much that could be done. The site is lost so quickly here. The PartyParrots find themselves in a 2-on-5, a solid take coming in from Need More DM in the first full buy round. I think it's looking like a great start right now for Need More DM. But we do see a kill coming out from Xiao as the Rays, picking off one that got a little bit too antsy on the site, decided to push that fight forwards. But you can see the Rays already backing off from the play. The Breach is just holding for an exit right now. This is a save coming in, and that was the call made long ago. They're just playing for exits. SSK currently in the window, waiting to see if anyone's going to come that direction, but not going to be the case.
So, quite honestly, a very difficult start here for PartyParrots. This is the round where you have the ability to try to start having the odds start to stack back into your favor, but losing 3 straight is not ideal. 2 members are obviously going to have weaponry moving into the next round, but it's 3 that'll be stuck with pistols or whatever they end up forcing up to. And so this potentially, the repercussions of this round, the round previous, could kick us off to a 5-0 start for Need More DM, depending on how the rounds, of course, unfold. But definitely not ideal for the opposite side. Somehow they'll make it work and they'll buy up. But not everybody, of course. I think Jay, he's gonna have to opt in for Guardian, Bulldog here for Artist. So maybe a little bit more competitive than I initially thought. But the economy still available here for PartyParrots to make things work.
Angel so close to his monitor currently he can taste it. As he's pushing up close with the brim, high camera placement, sees the owl drone coming in on long, anticipates one potentially in the cubby. There's the Hunter's Fury. Great tracing right now coming out onto Artist, who barely dodges that second and third pulse. Almost got hit, but not quite. Xiao playing up back behind the double stack on long, sends the Cypher reeling from the round, and it's been reduced to 3. Sage, Raze, and Sova. And Angel's got the flank. They are kind of sewn in here. The one glimmer of hope is the Sage, who's on the other side of the play, but he's made some noise, and Angel hears it, so Angel repositioning, looking for a better angle. Still gets beat out by Taijin, just can't quite figure out which direction to favor more. So that backstab opportunity, the flank, sewing them into position, it's all taken out of play. A good wall coming in from the Sage to funnel everyone through long, but there's only one player currently playing on long on the C site. It's Dinxjay. As the dart comes through, it's going to give away his position, but they've got support coming in from Garage. Missed opportunity from Artist. Dinxjay's on site and only has a Guardian. This round is falling apart. What started out so promising for PartyParrots has quickly turned into a 3-on-2 in favor of Need More DM.
Yeah, all down to Xiao and SSK here. Breach in the Raze. Now they'll start to push in together. But will the buddy system work out? There's a wall towards the back of site covering the Sage player playing towards plat. They'll break it down, and already that Sage player, Taijin, has escaped. Still now the crossfire set up behind plants, and Spike's been planted for long. Xiao will find a refrag there. Needs to still make his way around the big box. On the other side, it's a face full of operator for Xiao as his alter ego DZT will take him out. 4-0 start here for Need More DM, and to be quite honest, that's a great start at that. Moving on to this next round, it's pistols across the board. We're seeing a judge in play. Unfortunately, no jet to make it a judge-jetty play. Of course, that is the most ideal way to use the jet. You dash in, you kill 2, you make your opponent cry. But let's see if SSK can do exactly that. He's going to be playing close towards Garage, which is something that you expect, either Garage or Sewers, but they don't want any of that from Need More DM.
Smoke down.
Angel lays that smoke down in mid. Not afraid of an operator that could be waiting on the other side in the corner. Only goes for the single smoke. Xiao on just a Sheriff over towards the A site. What is going to be charging into B? With the Owl drone looking to get some intel. Doesn't spot anyone just yet. It does look like it's going to be an A take, which is going to put a lot of pressure on Xiao, who has the Sheriff, but also has some fallback. Has the utility there, the nade, as well as the showstopper, the ult, the rocket. We'll see if he gets a chance to pop that sucker and send a few of his opponents into the Nether Realms. As the push is starting to come through, he's starting to get additional support. The Cypher has now arrived on site. Dinxjay is right here, right to the right, but it's the Sheriff. There's the ult being popped. The rocket goes down, but it only gets 1. Satchel does go into the site, but does not do enough damage to take a target out. It's all up to SSK, who's currently rotating over from the B site. 3 players on the site as the spike gets planted.
So, looking like a 5-0 start here for Need More DM. It is SSK. He's on the other side. He's got a judge, looking more like a dragon to me. But let's see if that Sage maybe boosts it up. But of course, Artist is playing a little bit further back towards A long, which I still want to call Banana, but no one's really adopted that yet. No exits for SSK. He might go for a sneaky little late defuse, but his time is starting to run out, so he needs to be a little bit more careful. Oh, he's actually going to try to go for it. Oh, no, a weapon upgrade. I like the gusto. He'll escape with his life. New weapon upgrade for him. Carry it over into the next round. And at the end of the day, that's just going to boost the econ rating, you know? At the end of the day, that's all that matters. Have a bit of a better econ rating. He's got more weapons to move on. He can pass it over to a friend or keep it for himself. We see Dinxjay. He's got the operator in play, probably looking towards C long. And it is Need More DM that are setting up some tripwires there. Likely not going to go towards C this time around. Maybe throw some early utility to maybe do a little bit of a pump fake, but setting up for what looks like an A push. And there's 3 from PartyParrots that are going to be on the other side.
Right now, it feels like Xiao's the only one who's really putting in work for PartyParrots. We've seen little tastes of that in the past. In fact, we casted the G2 Valorant Invitational where he subbed in for Artis and actually put in a pretty decent performance with Angel as a last-minute replacement after Artis had some problems. Early on, they spot one pushing through. SSK lucky to survive as there was 2 targets around the corner. The breach charge also not taking out his opponent who was sitting in that corner. They've, in the meantime, managed to dispatch of the Sage. So the heal and the res being taken out as that was at full charge. They still have the orbital strike here from Brim, Angel being the one playing that Brim role. And it looks like they're going to be challenging this C site. There's the ult coming in. It splits the push in half, but it doesn't seem to make too much of a difference. Taijin will get Angel on the backside of site. Dinks J is there, but the nade takes care of him in that position. One coming through that smoke inside the window. But there's 2 players waiting. In the meantime, they picked off one towards spawn as well. 6 straight rounds for Needmore DM, as they look so much better than PartyParrots currently. PartyParrots desperately need to wake up on defense.
Yeah, PartyParrots, they had 3 opportunities to put rounds together, and those opportunities slipped away from them, even when they had a man advantage. I think there was 1 round where, at one point, Need4DM was down a member or 2, and PartyParrots still somehow were not able to defend the C site. They got the spike down, and the rest was history. Now, PartyParrots, they've got 2 Vandals in play. Of course, Angel going to have one of those in his hand. But at the end of the day, the rest of the team not going to be able to follow suit with the same level of weaponry, even light armor on the side here from PartyParrots. And so, Needmore DM, they're looking at potentially round number 7, and these rounds that are starting to slip away from PartyParrots are starting to get scary. You know, even if they start to win rounds now, I mean, at best you get 6-6, but I highly doubt that at this point, considering how the economy has really started to balloon for the attacker side. Looking at the ultimates available, we've got Resurrection, we've got From the Shadows, they've got Showstopper. They can really make this hurt, even still for PartyParrots. Having a look at the execute, they're now going to push in.
The push into sight getting crushed currently as Shao goes to the Judge. Judge meta showing itself. It's not the Judge Jetty, as it's the Raze who's carrying the Judge this time around. But you've heard people talking about it. The Judge way stronger than anyone realizes. And you can see it illustrated right there. The first round finally on the board for PartyParrots comes off the back of some strong Judge play playing up on short. But Needmore DM had plenty of money in their pockets, so they'll go back into the full buy yet again. And they'll introduce the AWP into play. So Dinks J will have the AWP coming in for PartyParrots. They'll have it on the other side as well. Shao wants to go aggro on long using that nade. He's going to huck one out towards long A. Does scratch up the Omen just a bit. Drops his HP down a little, but not much. Now, they have 4 ults currently on the side of Needmore DM. They've got the Hunter's Fury. They've got the Showstopper, which they're currently popping. They've got the Res, and they've got the Omen TP. The Showstopper opens up the B site, but only for a moment. There's still the Raze on site here. Hiding inside the dark cover is Shao. Peeks through, actually drops the spike, but the take continues. We're at a 3-on-3 currently as Dinks J is trying to retake on the site with that operator. Moving around the corner, it'll actually be Artist who gets the best of BZT, and it's come down to now 2 for Needmore DM.
Yeah, that was a great retake, and still, that spike is, of course, down. They have the opportunity with the Hunter's Fury to make it a very painful defusal. The Resurrection means it's the 4v2 now. Neural Theft going to spot out where those 2 attacker players are playing. Still the pre-fire here from Crazy Gear. He'll find one, and now Oda, all he needs to do is just send it flying. But can he delay in time? That's going to be the key. It's going to be one more tag, and smart enough. He's going to commit to it. The swing around the corner, and Dinks J will take Fuda back to the loading screen, and it's another round here for the PartyParrots. And to be quite honest, they need these. They desperately need these.
They're starting to come alive. They can still make this a 6-6. Again, this is a balanced map, so if they can close the half out 6-6, that's right on par with what you would hope to see. It's not necessarily completely perfectly balanced, but it's not like Ascent or Split, which are favored in one direction or the other. And it would be a nice turnaround from the way that things started, considering this looked like it was going to be a bit of a blowout, maybe a 9-3 half. There's, again, that blast pack peak over on long C. The shot goes out. It's just off the mark as it clips the wall and does not penetrate through. So SSK survives for the meantime over on the C site. He's got that flash ready. You can see it back behind sight. Goes for the flash peek. It's a great flash as well. Artist is there with the support. SSK goes down as they go for the peek. And they go for that ult into the backside of sight. Angel's going to try to retake the Omens right around the corner. Angel wins the fight against Crazy Gear. BZT on top of the wall, catching him off guard with verticality. Spike has still not been planted as the site does not feel completely safe just yet. Artist finds one more. Rocket's going to go down. It's the Raze duel that goes the direction of Xiao, but it's now a one-on-one. Hygiene able to pick up one more before it goes the direction of Xiao in the 1v1, and it will be PartyParrots finding their third.
I have to say, that was a great take from Need More DM. Of course, it was PartyParrots that were able to get back onto the site before there was any opportunity to get into those post-plant positions. Having a look at Crazy Deer, he was in the back corner and the defense had no idea he was there. Unfortunately, it only really net him one frag. It was Artist, I think, that was able to take him out there at the end. And Hygiene making it expensive though, despite losing the round. 4 members down means that they still have to force up here once again. And so weapons online here from Need More DM. I'd love to see if PartyParrots have the same level caliber of weaponry, but it does look like, based on just looking at SSK, a couple of free-fire shots here from Angel. And now Need More DM trying to figure out where they can gather intel and what site they can go to.
Took them a bit of time to wake up, but at least they woke up. As they managed to cut that lead in half from 6-0 to 6-3. The spray through the door pushes the Sage out of position. Artist goes for a wall that blocks off short, but also gives them some vertical capabilities should they decide to push forward. It looks like the Spike, though, is moving back towards A. Right now, the Raze is currently on the lurk. BZT just being a nuisance, as the rest of the team is working towards this A site where they're going to contend against Angel as the Brim and the Cypher. That's DinksJ, who's holding short right now with an operator, and they have the orbital strike as well.
Need More DM playing a lot more respectively this time around. They've had their go at 6 straight rounds, but now that PartyParrots have come alive, they've given them a little bit more space to work with. A couple of early smokes, and that means that Angel has to drop down, make sure that he's involved on the site as the push comes forward. The orbital strike stops the push from the sewers, but now they'll start to commit. Shots are good from Angel. He finds one. Xiao on the other side, but it's Crazy Deer caught in headlights to find 2 headshots. And now it is up for the retake. 3v3 with that spike down. Let's see how PartyParrots come back in.
Off your feet!
They're stuck currently inside this dark cover. There's the Rolling Thunder to get them into the site. There's one in hell. One was right around the corner, and they took care of it quite quickly. It's come down to the Sage. The blast pack right on his back. And it will be a 4th round. All of a sudden, PartyParrots looks like a different team after losing the first 6. They found a solution. Need More DM at least getting access to the site this time, getting that spike planted before the retake is already underway. We saw that C take not that long ago where they had C site control, but they couldn't actually plant because the defense was already right behind the default box. This time around, they get that spike secured, but then the retake comes through and it's successful. Xiao currently 12-6. Strong performance coming in from him as he's been leading the charts for PartyParrots on the defense.
I may have jinxed it 4 rounds ago. I said this could be a 6-6 half. I didn't know that PartyParrots would come alive in this fashion. We are seeing, of course, maybe the soft buy from Need More DM, a couple of Bulldogs, a couple of Spectres. Looking to play a little bit more at closer range. You can see that with the stack up. They're trying to get a couple of refrags, but you don't need it when you just take one out. Artist going to fall, and this could be a great round for Need More DM.
DinksJ spraying through that dark cover. Does not connect, takes a bit of damage, so has to back off. Xiao is going to be there as well to try and spray away at the door. It's Angel, though, who's coming in through the doors. That will take care of BZT. Another dark cover going down on short, and you can see the Sova thinking about sneaking into it. That'd be Foda. Through spawn comes Xiao. Xiao almost getting that second one. Can't quite convert. The retake underway. It's down to a one-on-one. It's Cypher versus Cypher. DinksJ versus Barcode. Barcode here's that spike tap. Pros don't fake. He's holding it. Not gonna get it today as Barcode goes for the late peek. And finally, Need More DM get themselves back on the scoreboard after losing 4 in a row.
That was off of a soft buy. It seems like all they need to do is just go in for trades and they'll have PartyParrots' number. That was the back off of a play on finding an entry towards the garage, and then from there, they're just like, all right, we've got nothing to lose. We don't even really have the best weaponry that we'd like, so let's just push in, let's see what happens. And boy, did it happen. Of course, it went down to the 1v1, but Need More DM don't care. They're off of a soft buy. They're off of an eco. They're off of less ideal weaponry. And so now they can have a good time. They've got the weaponry that they need, and I'm not quite sure, but I think PartyParrots, only one member had something that was less than ideal. But already, as I am talking, it is very difficult for Need More DM to now push in.
You will not kill my allies.
There is a res coming in from Tigana, so they're going to bring BZT back into the fold. The Sova using the Owl drone in short to try to get some intel. The wall is down, preventing a push in that direction. Look at this read from Brimstone. No, it doesn't work out. Foda catches Angel off guard, who pushed up aggressively in mid. I mean, it probably would have backfired for Angel in the long run. There was too many bodies built up right around the corner towards window. So now that puts all of this pressure onto Xiao, who goes for that ult, but it doesn't really do much. The showstopper stops no shows. The show must go on. Here's a counter showstopper coming in. Xiao loses that fight initially, but the rocket continues to travel, and that will be site control in favor of Need More DM.
That was close. I have a feeling that Xiao maybe threw that a little preemptively. If he had more information, a good old jump peek over the box would have given him all the information that he needed once they started to push in through. The resurrection on Angel puts their leader back into play, and now the general get the commanding. But unfortunately, he's probably going for a little water break, probably just trying to get a little bit of rest before the next round. Couple of shots here from the Sage. It's Tigana that'll find the frags that he needs. SSK will take him out. Foda as well will get the trade, but now it's just down to the 1v2. Angel's return, and as quickly as he was brought up, he was taken down by the attack.
That is unfortunate. That definitely mirrors my experience playing competitive, especially in the last round of the half. You can't really blame him there. So that early shot coming out, the res onto BZT. Here was the ult exchange over on the A site, as well as the rocket pops shortly after his death. 8-4, Need More DM with a commanding control of the scoreboard right now. Looked really, really good on the attacking side. But now we switch over to defense. We'll see if they'll be able to continue in that form. PartyParrots, kind of disappointing right now, but again, Haven was not a map I expected to see from them. Given the previous experience, we haven't seen them play a lot of Haven. We've seen them go for more bind picks, more split play, so Haven was actually somewhat surprising to see out as the pick from PartyParrots.
You know, quite frankly, both teams have a great win rate on split, but it's PartyParrots that have a more consistent record over Need More DM, so you're correct. It's kind of interesting that they go to Haven, considering it is probably their arguably least successful map in the grand scheme of things. But maybe they've been practicing it. You know, for all we know, they have had much better success in their scrims, or much better success in some of their opportunities to play it off of tournament play. And so maybe things have changed within the dynamic of the team. But considering it is their map pick, they might be a little bit more comfortable on the attack. And we know Haven to be a little bit more attacker friendly. So let's see how PartyParrots starts to lay these rounds back on their side.
Initial push towards Garage results in some success as Crazy Deer gets caught by the pistol of Artist, the Sage. BZT right on the other side does dodge the flash momentarily. This is a take we've seen before. The Sage wall through Garage to take B control. We've seen this play in the past, and it works out oh so well here for PartyParrots. As they go ahead and take control of the site, Recon Dart goes down, instantly destroyed. Foda through the smoke, able to convert on at least one before being instantly traded out by SSK. SSK continues that push towards the A site, and the round likely lost as it's down to two who both have to chisel their way through that thick ice over towards the C site. Tigana able to get one as it does BZT. The satchel coming out from backside site. They go for the heal on the Raze, but there it goes. The Sage getting dropped. It's now down to one. It's the Raze. BZT right around the corner. Able to get the first and bring things to a one-on-one against DinksJ now. Has to play the spike, and DinksJ is just waiting this one out perfectly. Swings wide a little early, but it doesn't matter. The round was already pretty much won as the clock was ticked too far down. A fifth round on the scoreboard for PartyParrots.
And he gets to escape. But yeah, having a look at some of these replays, the defense almost had it. They brought it close. But again, these pistols, they can be volatile. It can really go anyone's favor, depending on what the buys look like. You know, especially when you're playing Sage, sometimes your team will just be like, all right, you're buying a barrier orb, you're buying some slow orbs, and you're stuck with the classic. Whereas somebody else, they might opt in for the Ghost, which has a bit of a higher chance of finishing off the frag. So moving on to the next round, it is of course going to be PartyParrots that are off of the win. It does look like we are in a little bit of a technical pause or strategic pause, but I'd love to see how PartyParrots start to lay on the rounds once the gun rounds start to come into play, and Need More DM have an opportunity to fight back.
Technical pause coming through, but it's already unpaused. As you can see, the clock is starting to tick down yet again. Curious on the issue, but we seem to be right back into things. Shotgun over on C for Foda. You saw the sheriff in mid. BZT might just chuck a nade out and try to push up a little bit.
Shadows traveling.
Well, there's the smoke going down on deep C. They've got the crossfire set up with the shotguns. Their plan is to pull them into a trap and just obliterate them from pellets set up on both sides. It's not going to really make too much of a difference right now. As you can see, it doesn't look like the attack seems too eager to go towards C. But there are two players there, and they are pushing out a little bit further. A bulk of the bodies over towards long A. It looks like right now they're just kind of sniffing out those early pushes. So Cypher sends out a cam in mid, spots the Raze who was pushing up. That was BZT, who now has to back off with the Sheriff. Again, they're playing this one real passive, understanding that they might see a stack, because that's what they did at times in previous games when we've seen them play. Shao, able to get the first, as T-Gunny has picked off, trying to push through the doors. BZT, who was aggressive in mid, they already knew he was there, spotted out by the Cypher cam, another conversion for the side of PartyParrots.
See the rest of the defense start to rotate over early. They smell the read that it's not looking like it's going to be a C take. They get the early 2 picks in the courtyard, and then from there, you call the 50. You either push on the takes on the open entries, or you pull back and go to another site. So that's what they're calling here. A couple of feelers though in the courtyard as they see nothing is there. Maybe looking for some weaponry that they can upgrade to. I think BCT had a sheriff, and so they want to get rid of the shorties and have higher odds of taking out some of these Party Parrot members. Because at the end of the day, Party Parrots, they're looking for a flawless round, the ability to take the weapons into the next round. Angel, he only brought himself a ghost, and so we are seeing now the smoke from the Omen. Let's see how he plays this. A couple of early shots, and that gives away his position, so he'll have to back away. But there's a crossfire set up. It's going to be Artist. Shot with the shorty's good, but it's the tripwire that takes out Crazy Deer. And now it's just down to 2 here. They'll be out in the garden. One's good from Dinks J. And it's just down to 1. The last Sova player, Foda, trying to get some early looks. Shao cleans up. Business as usual. And now we enter into the gun round, Bach. This is where Need More DM have the opportunity to start to swing rounds back into their favor, and they don't really want Party Parrots to catch up anytime soon.
No, absolutely not. This was a 6-0 at one point. And it was a 6-0 that was like a blowout 6-0. I know that's a weird thing to say, given that the score is a shutout anyway, but those rounds weren't exactly close.
Yeah.
And Need More DM was just dumpstering Party Parrots. The only player who was performing well in those first 6 rounds was Shao, who's currently the top performer as the Raze. So that kind of illustrates the way things were going. Party Parrots now moving into this next round. This can be a little bit of a difficult one. We'll see how they adjust to what Need More DM's going to bring in now that the full buy comes through from the defense. They've gone for a solo hold on A with the Cypher, backup coming in from Sova, who's kind of pivoting between both A and B, trying to support the Raze. No garage control really coming in from Need More DM, as they've surrendered that over a little bit. Now, obviously, they don't know that currently on the attack, but the Sage is playing back towards spawn, just watching for the garage exit, and Omen is on site playing solo. It's a little bit of an interesting approach. We'll see how it works out. They're going to start moving towards the B site, though. Nice nade coming out from the Raze. That'll slow things down. Molly in response. But now they're moving in, and this is going to be really difficult. This Omen has to hold everything on his own. There's the paranoia coming in to try and buy some time, and that does keep them at bay for the moment. But there's the boost pack peak. At least it gets Shao out onto the site. Crazy Deer able to somehow convert on 2. Trades going back and forth in both directions, but the spike has been dropped, and it's in no man's land. It's currently visible by everyone. It falls all onto Angel, as Tigane is able to get a multitude of kills on this push back into the C site to 1v3. Angel at 48 HP. Already spotted out as well by the Cypher. Great round coming in from Need More DM. Looked a little bit scary there with that solo Omen hold, but the paranoia just bought so much time.
You're now going to start to see in solo queue people the standard anchors to play. They're going to stop playing Cypher and they're going to start playing Omen, because that was a pretty good hold from Need More DM. I have to give them credit where credit is due. Can't believe one paranoia stopped the push, but at the end of the day, they were huddled together like a group of sheep, and Crazy Deer was hurting them all And it gave time for the defense to rotate back around, and with the rotate through the C alleyway, it was very difficult for the attack to get that spike down. They had no opportunity as the retake was already happening before they were even able to get that spike down in the first place. And so, great round from Need More DM, but now moving forward, we'll see how PartyParrots are able to try to answer back. It's going to be difficult because I feel like Need More DM now have a grasp on how they want to play this defensive side.
Oh, Angel almost spotted out by the Rays, who's currently on top of the big box in the B site. It looks like they're going to be moving over towards A, though. There is a two-player hold here. Again, it's the Cypher and the Sova. As the tripwires are down, the cam is in position as well. Smoke's about to be popped by Angel. He's got the ult as well, which might be a bit of a problem depending on how they decide to use it. Instead, they're going to use the showstopper to open things up. And yikes, Barcode just can't get the gun under control. Shao through the smoke, despite the fact that he had a dart in his belly, still converts. They've lost control of the site, but they've reduced it down to 2 here on the defense. And it's Sage and Omen who are trying to now retake. Tigana coming up through heaven, but it's Crazy Deer to get that first kill, and it all falls apart right there. A fantastic take towards the A site that all started with Shao's heroics there, kicking things off with the rocket, finding one through the smoke, wall tagged with the dart. Felt like it should have gone the other direction.
Well, at the end of the day, we do know that it's Shao to make all these hero plays for the side of PartyParrots. Angel is just the leader, but sometimes you need that brave warrior that is willing to die for the whole army. You know, the 1 in 100, and Shao's that guy. Shao's that dude, and he's definitely making it work. We are now looking towards defense. It's looking like a little bit of a broken by BZT here with the Stinger. Tigana as well. It's just not looking good. Already a frag for Angel, and PartyParrots look like they might be able to catch up, make it a 1-round differential between these teams. Crazy Deer, he's been the one that's been a problem for PartyParrots. Already finding one. Can he find the second? Fortunately, just misses Sage's ponytail just barely, and pays for it with his life. Angel with 1. Tries to find the spray transfer, but it's going to be at the hands of a Stinger that takes him out.
Yeah, they went for that aggressive push on short, and after converting on the first exchange, Crazy Deer overextends the play, ends up dying. The res comes through and negates his play initially anyway. So, yeah, you burned the res. I guess that's the kind of silver lining of this scenario. But it comes down to 2, the Sage and Sova, who are both trying to retake, coming in from spawn, one going heaven, one going right behind that wall in spawn. There's the peek coming in from Artist, who wanted to go for his own kind of weird wall to try to get out onto the site. Doesn't work out so well as he dies while trying to cast it. Foda now in heaven, has the recon dart available, but is currently just chilling, waiting for these shots to pour through. Might decide to go for that late peek, and there you go. The nice shot coming out from the Sheriff at least spills a little bit more blood in the round, but the lead has been reduced down to just 1. Again, reminder, this was 6-0 initially in favor of Need More DM.
Starting to really understand why PartyParrots were able to pick this map and at least feel comfortable taking the first map against Need More DM. Of course, we are still a little ways away from that, so no need to jump to conclusions quite yet. But Need More DM, they're struggling. There's no denying that. PartyParrots are finally alive. It only took them after 6 rounds to really start to get cooking, and it's off the backs of players like Angel and Shao that are leading the pack, not only in frags, but in actual communication and leadership. Towards the C side, Crazy Deer's on the other side. Or sorry, it's Tigana who's on the other side. Pre-fire shots. Here comes the rolling red carpet. Orbital strike as well on the back of the site. A little bit wasted potentially as they'll find a couple of refrags. The defense trying to rotate back around already. This Barcode is on the side. He's going to find 1. He's going to find 2. Still down to 1. More on the headshot seals the deal as the defense win yet another round.
You know, I wouldn't say that ult was wasted at all. While that ultimately doesn't produce success, they had to flush that player out of position regardless. Had the Omen been allowed to just sit in the backside of site, it would have been really difficult to try to take the site. So they combo the ults, hoping that if someone's there, they'll just peek. It's exactly what happens. It actually results in a 1-for-1 exchange. Somehow, despite everything being thrown at him, Crazy Deer still manages to get 1 kill. The bigger problem was the remaining players on site. Barcode in specific as the Cypher finding 3 on the round, totally crushing the push coming in from PartyParrots. Double digits now for Need More DM. There's one on the backside of C, not quite spotted out by that camera from DinksJ. Foda puts a dart in the belly of Angel, who's got to back off from the place. Spam coming out through the wall, doing significant damage to these targets. You can see both the Brim and the Sage were low. The Brim gets the heal, though. So that's unfortunate for the Sage, who's currently sitting on half HP.
Yeah, I think that heal cooldown is quite long, so it might be a little while before that Sage gets a heal. And before that time and now, somebody else might get injured, and then they need a heal. And it's a vicious cycle for Sage mains. But on the opposite side, it is, of course, Igne, who's sitting nice and pretty, has the resurrection available. Don't need it quite yet. Still 5 members strong, and they'll take out Shao, a crucial member. Paint shells that try to tag down Angel, who's ready and prepared in Banana, but still, they haven't taken this site yet, and it's the defense already beginning to rotate over. The smokes are going to deny their push forward, as well as the Molotov. That's BZT with the operator, finding 2 kills this round, but his cycle will end quite quickly. Angel gonna be taken out here by Barco. The resurrection onto BZT, and it's just frag after frag, just down to DinksJ, trying to make ends meet for his team, as now it is just the 2, and they'll get the defuse, and another round on the board here from Need More DM.
Solid retake coming in from Need More DM as well. Good initial hold, getting a couple of kills before they took control of the site. But nice work coming out as well, timing that Paranoia and the peek coming in from Heaven. So the Paranoia went out on site, the Cypher went for an immediate peek out of Heaven, picked up one, got traded, it went back and forth for a little bit. But at that point, Need More DM had the numbers advantage, so they could afford to go back and forth. We're going to see Crazy Deer go for potentially an aggressive play here up on top of the default boxes inside the C site. Unfortunately for him, right off the whip, there's not going to be anyone there. You've got players currently sitting outside of C short and towards mid more. I like this play coming in. BZT, feeling it, gets aggressive, uses that satchel to boost out in through the doors and go for a fast peek you wouldn't anticipate. In the meantime, though, Angel pushed up in mid and took care of Foda. So that is the Sova going down. That was after the Hunter's Fury was popped, so getting the intel on that position, rather than trying to dodge the pulses, run towards the source, gives themselves a man advantage.
Now remember, Need More DM, they're 1 away from match point, and this is PartyParrots map pick. And so we will be moving on to Bind, which was selected by Need More DM. So PartyParrots really need to make sure that these pushes, that these takes work out. So far, it seems like it's just a tripwire set up on the A site. No camera to spot them out. So let's see how this take now starts to push through. It's the smoke up towards Heaven. The cyber cages will stop them temporarily as the rest of the team starts to flood the site. We are seeing the rotate back towards Heaven. And it's a slow rotate here for Barco as the rest of his team now starting to join him. Spy cam from the opposition to see anyone lurking through yellow. So far, it's just the spike that's planted. Defense need to decide how they're going to work this through. Just checking back towards B, making sure that no one's flanking, but the showstopper tells us everything that we need to know. So far, 1 kill from BZT as the rest of the team now starting to pick apart the defense. Shao and Aris will find one. Crazy Deer with the refrag, but now we're looking at Teganese perspective, trying to find that last member behind the ice wall, and will do so successfully. 1 more member down Banana and the other towards the sewers. They still have utility to stop this defuse. It's the 1v2, but doable now that they've selected off 1 more member off to the side of the sewers. A couple of pre-fire shots. I think it's the race player that's looking on the other side. SSK finding the last and final frag, nearing that gap, 9 to 11.
Had some promise there for Need More DM. You saw the wall come out and you're like, okay, this might work. Had they had both players still alive at that point, maybe. You saw the ult pop as well, the showstopper. Thought maybe that would produce the success they needed, but it was a one and done for BZT. So solid look from PartyParrots, pushing onto the A site, getting control, getting the spike down and defending in the post plant. And in that round, they've also built up quite a bit of utility. They've got 4 ults to work with. Neural Theft, Showstopper, Resurrection, and Orbital Strike. But as I say that, the Orbital Strike is taken out of contention. They might try to go back and get the res, but it's not going to happen. Crazy Deer is there with a Bulldog shoulders it with the ADS no less and takes the res out of play, along with one more in the breach. It's now down to Xiao as the Raze and DinksJ as the Cypher, who's working with a Guardian no less, the recently nerfed Guardian. It wasn't great before, but it certainly isn't as fantastic as it once was now. It's kind of rough to work with. So we'll see what they're able to do, if they're able to convert on any kills coming their direction. Xiao does at least spot one, a jiggle peek coming in from the Cypher to get that intel. But the clock is on the side of PartyParrots right now. They've still got 50 seconds, so they've got some time to work with.
So let's talk about the repercussions of this round, because it definitely does not look like PartyParrots are coming out with the win. I mean, I could be surprised. The 2v5 is doable in the right circumstance if you take them all one at a time, 1v1, v1, v1. And considering there's two of you, Showstopper can deal with one. Maybe some paint shells could chip down another, but at the end of the day, you're still looking at three more that you've got to work through. If PartyParrots lose this round, they just won the previous one, and so losing this one would mean they would have they wouldn't really have economy to buy. And so they need to win this one. First kill comes good on Tigane. They'll still now start to rotate towards flat. That's Xiao that'll find the refrag. And now it's match point for Need More DM, and the attack don't have the economy to buy.
Yeah, that was brutal. It looked good for a second as they started to go towards that C site. You're like, okay, they get that entry. They swap the Vandal out for that Guardian. But then it just quickly falls apart. The numbers disadvantage was just too much for them to overcome. So no spike plant. The clock also had ticked down really low, so it would have been difficult to even guarantee that as they were getting on the site and having to take battles just to try and gain some semblance of control. Again, Crazy Deer goes up on top of the default box and going to send a dart cover down on long. But look at this play. BZT getting aggressive with the op on short. We've seen that before. He actually used the blast pack to try to get into that position before, a little bit quicker than you'd anticipate. Did it on the door as well in mid. It looks like they're going to be going towards B, so I like this push. They use the slow orb and the ult. That's what takes care of Foda. But even with the paranoia, they were able to somehow continue to control the site. The two remaining members of Need More DM trying to get back towards the site. The neural theft going out, giving away the position of the remaining enemies here on the defense. BZT with a great shot, and all of a sudden it's come back to a 2-on-2. Just like that, a snap of your fingers. And it's Barcode and BZT trying to work back into the site. Angel still has one smoke down. Nice nade right on his back, pushes him back behind the gong. In that time, Barcode was able to sneak out. BZT goes for another one of those blast pack boosts. Doesn't work out so well. Double digits for PartyParrots.
Yeah, they had to force up there. It was do or die, and they win the round. So kudos to them, but they still have two more to go. And on the side of Need More DM, if one slip-up happens from the side of PartyParrots, then it's all over. It's bad news bears for them, and they got to go to map number 2. And so PartyParrots, they're hanging on by a thread, and Need More DM, they are the scissors looking to cut them down. One more round for them, and they will be able to move on to map number 2. We are looking for yet another setup, and BZT doesn't know, but he's about to be greeted with 2 players, and the shot's good onto Angel. The IGL is out of play, and they are starting to drop like flies. They will get the res, though, but it's still a 4v5.
I'm not sure what happened there in mid. You saw a player jump out a window and kind of just get, like, stuck. Started shooting and then just suddenly stopped. Not sure what that was, but it does result in the breach being taken out of the play. 5-on-4 right now, favoring the defense. Angel pushing through the smoke, catches the Sage, which is a big kill. That takes the res out of play, as well as obviously the heal and the other skills that associate with that Sage play. Spots the Owl drone in mid, which will put a dart in DinksJ's belly, but he's just going to continue back behind this wall. Doesn't have too much to concern himself with. The Sova does not have the Hunter's Fury, so not going to be sending out any pulses in that direction. Foda currently just playing a line of sight towards bottom mid.
Found them.
Still very doable here for both teams. 4v4, considering both teams have weapons to play with. Seems like the B push worked out last time, and they're going to try to make it work out again, but they need to clear out the back of the side. Paint Shells was supposed to do that, and it does. Foda will be quite low, and so the peak takes him out of commission, and now they'll start to try to deal with the rest of the team. Xiao sends one flying blind through the smoke and takes out Crazy Deer. Now down to the 2v4, and the defense is starting to feel the pressure. Cypher looking to try to peek early. Barcode on the other side. A pre-fire spray from Artist does not net him a frag, nor any damage done to the opposition buddy system as they set up their own little crossfire, starting to push through. Barcode will fall first. PCT is the last one standing. Finds one onto Artist, but PartyParrots, they are nipping at the heels of Need More DM.
We can see one player on the scoreboard. Looks like Xiao's having a good game. Again, that is a bug. It's unfortunate. I don't want to continue to just repeat that, but I want to make sure everyone understands we're not showing it for a reason. Not because the observers don't know. It's just there's not really much information that can be gathered from there. 12-11 coming into this final round of regulation. What does Need More DM bring to the table? Can they somehow stop this from going to overtime? It started out so promising for Need More DM. I can't imagine how frustrating it would be for them to even have to play overtime, let alone what could happen if they lose it and how that could spill over into the next map. We do have a pause coming in as they're talking things over more than likely on both sides. PartyParrots and Need More DM could both be taking what would be considered a quote-unquote tactical pause to talk over what's about to happen, because this round has heavy importance. Need More DM would be absolutely deflated if they allowed this to go to overtime after that 6-0 start.
So let's talk about what we do know with the information that we do have. Barcode with a Spectre, so maybe some of the defense have less than an ideal buy and they're willing to take it to OT. But once we get to OT, it's likely that we'll see the back and forth swap, win by 2, you go to defense, then attack, then defense, then attack. And considering the ult economy as well, if Need More DM find a pick and maybe find an upgrade in weaponry, they can get a res if a member has fallen. They have neural theft to gather information if they have the opportunity to do so. From the shadows can be used as a decent flanking tool, but will it be used in this case? Hard to tell, considering ults are also reset in the following round. So a lot of these things can start to come into play. But on the opposite side, they've got the red carpet and they might look to roll it out here as they look towards the A site to start us off.
It all comes down to this, the final round of regulation, round 24. Slow orb into the window. But it is going to be presence towards A early on. Oh, I love this read. Look at this aggression coming in from the defense. There's only one player playing defense on A currently, but they've got 3 players coming in on the backside. The question is, can they actually get there in time? The push is coming through. Barcode does great damage on the initial fight. Now they start peeking, and they are getting absolutely slaughtered by DinxJ on the backside of that play, waiting for the lurk to come through. Doesn't anticipate that many targets, but spots them out anyway. BZT, the last one standing. It's going to be a 4K on the round for DinxJ as we are going into overtime, all tied up after PartyParrots fight their way back into the game.
This is exciting. There haven't been many tournaments that have used this feature, and so we'll see how things start to unfold as teams will bounce back and forth between sides, and the goal is to win by 2. And so we'll see who ends up coming out on top. Of course, we did see a 6-0 start for Need More DM at the beginning when they were on attack, but PartyParrots seem to have their number when it comes to attack. They were able to kind of figure things out and have a pretty successful swing back into their favor. So now that things have swapped back over, we'll see how Need More DM set up this attack and if they're able to be victorious.
Risky peek coming in from Angel, almost gets ripped away by the operator right off the rip. Artist sitting on the other side of the door, holding for a push to come through. A 3-player C-hold here with Sage, Raze, and Cypher over in that territory, which means they want to challenge the A site. Not that they really realize that that's the case. The Cypher starting to pull out of that site. You've got Brim playing defense solo on A. Not exactly ideal, and the Brim has already exhausted all smokes, so the only thing remaining is the Molly. And they're continuing to move up on long. Should they decide to push this A site, it will be incredibly difficult for Angel to do anything about it.
We saw how PartyParrots usually have an anchor, and sometimes that anchor just sinks to the bottom of the ocean, not really having the opportunity to make an impact. And that's why you have the buddy system start to come through. It's DinxJ who's going to be there to help support the Brim, and they have complete control. The rest of the defense now have to rotate back over towards that A side, and it's a slow rotate at that. They already have control of the site. That spike's already down, and the clock's ticking. It is up now to PartyParrots to push forward. An aggressive look from Fuda as he sends... I don't know if that was a shock dart or if it was a recon bolt, but something was set through yellow. And now with the slow orb, they're looking to try to make it difficult for him to swing around the corner. And he does so quite valiantly, but does not end up with a frag. Angel's gonna find 2. Angel's gonna find 3. SSK steals the 4th, and it's Xiao to finish off the 5th and final frag. Defuse comes through, and the defense had an amazing round. Need more DM have to really answer back in the next, or PartyParrots will be the victor of map number 1.
That was an interesting round, right? Like, you see Need More DM get full control of the site without a problem. The issue is they dumped a ton of util to get onto the site. Sage Wall, slow orbs, omen smokes, everything spent, shock darts, even recon darts. They're literally throwing everything they have at that site, despite the fact that what we know is there was only 2 players currently in position to even try and defend, and they were both stuck in the same area. So what ends up happening is all that util fades, and then they just crunch in on the retake, and they still have all their utility to use, with some exception, obviously, like the brim smokes, tripwires, etc. BZT picking off 1 early. That shot goes through. Does that actually wallbang? I've never seen that shot.
No, it does. It actually does, but nobody uses it, and I'm hoping we expect some NA players to grab some Odins, make it go burn, probably spray it down, but it hasn't really been used that effectively. You would need a pretty good read to use it effectively. You need the Sova in the sewers, throw the recon arrow, they push in, and then you spray him down. But the odds of that happening are so situational, and so that's why it's rarely used. But I think it goes all the way as far as back to the garden. I haven't tested it out myself. And it is actually SSK that gets sent back to the garden. It's a dirt nap for him, and now it is the 3v5 for PartyParrots.
Wall going up over on C to try and delay the push that could come through from Garage. PartyParrots have now a 3-on-4 as Artist gets the opener. They've got site control, but look at this. They're going to be actually peeling off and trying to take control of Garage. I actually really like this one. You've got DinksJ here. No, they're going to be going back towards A, so DinksJ's got the flank on these players back towards the backside of C. Only gets 1, but the A site has been vacated. Tripwire's being taken out, initiates a rotate back from Barcode, but he's too late. The spike has to get planted in just a moment, so Sage is going to go ahead and dedicate himself to that one. And it'll be a 2-on-3, make it a 1-on-3. It's all up to BZT, or Shadow, excuse me, who was over in the corner. A very peculiar round. You know, it felt like with DinksJ having that flank on the back end of Garage that maybe they would go back towards C, but they decide to rotate over towards A. All of the utility was still there from Cypher, so as they started peeling bodies back towards C, he hears those tripwires being taken out, understands he's got to go back to A. Weird.
And now the sides continue to swap. So
what did they play? 18-16 was one of the overtimes that Need More DM had to play in the qualifier just to make it out.
Listen, Bob, I know that you come from CS and you're probably basking in the glow right now. You're just like, yes, finally, you know? And for those of you that might be new to FPSs, we're going to keep going until somebody wins by 2. And so for the side of PartyParrots and for the side of Need More DM, takes a lot of stamina. There's still a map after this. There's still potentially a 3rd map after this that could also potentially go to overtime and another overtime. So a lot of mental fortitude from these players. We are seeing now the push in towards the C side, and that fortitude needs to come in handy as the attack is starting to slice and dice them. The spike is going to go down, and it's 5 members strong here for the attack.
Antigone with the opening kill on the site finds the 2nd follow-up as well. An exchange going back and forth that brings us down to a 3-on-3. The Sova is going to get picked off by the Sage. That's Artist over in Garage. Goes for a peek, punished by the operator, and it all falls down to DinksJ, who's backside site hiding inside of his cyber cage. There's a bit of a one-way on that one side. Not really a one-way, just a gap to try to peek through. Nice shot onto Crazy Deer. Now he has the one-on-one versus the operator. Goes for the peek. It's not going to work out so well. DinksJ survives a round they desperately wanted to pick up. It was awkward at times, to say the least, but they managed to survive somehow, some way, and continue fighting here in overtime, picking up the 1st round, looking to close things out here.
Ooh, it's getting close, and you know, considering how the economy shapes up here in these overtime matches, is that it's just full on head to head. Everyone's got the economy to play. It's 5,000 credits apiece, round after round after round. It's the halves that are the issue for some of these teams. We are seeing now that to be the problem. It's back and forth, but it's an early push here from the PartyParrots, looking to get out that cage and break through. Two members here on that A site, Fuda, as well as his fellow Cypher player, Barcode, ready to defend in a crossfire setup near the sewers, but it's already been a pull back here from the PartyParrots. An early look towards A did not gather them the intel that they needed, and so now it's the defense that I'm not quite sure if they actually heard any footsteps, and so the 3 stack towards A might have been the call because of some heard footsteps. But now that they don't really hear any movement or any action, the rotate's called for Barcode.
Angel, the tip of the spear right now as they work their way through garage. 50 seconds left on the clock. Nice shot coming out. Crazy Deer has played that spot oh so many times on defense, and he gets punished for it. Site has no additional support whatsoever. We've seen that in the past from them as well. So a 5-on-4 that sees them get pretty much a free plant on the C site, only having to take down one. The walls come in on short, so they're going to have to spray that one down. They hear the bullet, so they're going to start positioning themselves for it. There's still one on the back end of the play as well. You've got Cypher, who's lurking his way into position. Barcode is holding for it, but as I say that, he starts to look back towards the site. They start to push towards that site, and they actually win a couple of those duels before it finally comes down to one. It's going to be the Rays in the attempted retake. BZT can't survive. Somehow, some way,